So the United States President, Donald Trump, goes on the Joe Rogan podcast last fall, and he says remarkable things. Now, one of the most remarkable things he says is the IRS was a stupid idea and the idea of enemies of the United States of America. Well, I uploaded a video right afterwards explaining how Donald Trump could get rid of the IRS without passing one law. And as it is right now, that video has 750,000 views, making it my most popular ever. So I know there is a lot of interest in Donald Trump's threat to end the IRS. So with Donald Trump's threat or promise to end the IRS, here's the logical question. Should you file your taxes in 2025? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer that question. But first, I just want to explain my bias. Hey, look, I'm a 20-year tax attorney, and I make money when people hire my firm to prepare taxes, so understand that bias. However, I'm also a human being and a 20-year tax attorney, so I know firsthand exactly what the IRS is, and trust me, there's plenty of other opportunities for me other than fixing these terrifically horrible tax problems. So with that understanding, let's get into the analysis. Number one, if the government owes you a refund, the only way to get it back is to file your taxes. So not filing your taxes really won't own the government, but rather you would want to file it to get your refund. And to understand something, you only have a limited amount of time to get that refund. In true government fashion, the IRS can have forever to assess your taxes if you don't file a tax return. But however, it doesn't work the other way because the government only gives you a limited amount of time to claim a refund. It's going to be 3 years from the due date of the return, or 2 years from the date of payment. So if you wait, you actually might lose out. So then let's get into the heart of the matter. Should you file your taxes if you're going to owe money? Well, here's some problems with not filing your taxes aside from the IRS. If you have kids in college, you need to fill out a FAFSA form. That form is going to ask you for your tax returns, but I think you could probably hold off on 2025 filing because of the delay. Eventually, though, you're going to have to file the return if the IRS isn't gone. And other situations in where you're going to have to file? Well, look, if you own a business and have investors or other partners, you're going to need to file, otherwise you could be breaching your fiduciary duty and getting yourself into a whole bunch of problems you would probably not want to have. Okay, well, let's just assume you're in a situation where there's no one who's going to be mad if you don't file your returns other than the government. Should you file or not? Well, we're not really sure what the future holds. Maybe the IRS sticks around, maybe it goes away, maybe it goes away eventually. So we're taking a gamble. But let's just assume that the IRS never quite goes away, and you're wrong. What would happen if you didn't file on time or pay? Well, here's the thing. It's pretty easy. Once you file, the IRS will assess penalties. They'll assess penalties for failing to file late and failing to file timely. However, here's the trick. You can actually file a first-time penalty abatement to get those penalties waived. However, as the name implies, you only can do it once, and if you've already claimed it or you've had previous late periods, you might not be entitled to it. So you're running the risk of some late filing penalties if you're wrong. Well, the next thing to look at is criminal exposure, because most certainly you are engaging in tax evasion, but practically speaking, you can understand that the risk really isn't there that much. And you just might understand how little of a risk that the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, CID, they only indict less than 1,000 people a year for pure tax crimes. And here's the thing, in most of those cases, it's where a return is filed and someone put down a number that wasn't right under penalty of law. Now, technically, you can still be indicted for not filing a return, but it's incredibly rare because one of the problems the government has is how to prove your intent. If you said you simply forgot to file, that's a legitimate reason and it's not quite criminal. And look, Here's the thing. There are a lot of other cases they need to get to. In particular, the employee retention credit. Well, look, there where people are filing fraudulent claims, we're getting credits and money in the hundreds of millions of dollars. IRS criminal investigation kind of is going after them before they're going to go after you for not filing a return. But of course, we've all seen the lowest learner case where the IRS was discriminating against people based on their political beliefs, and no one was ever punished. So we know the IRS is an activist organization. So when it comes to these things, we have to understand all the rules might be off the table. So there it is. Should you file your returns even though Donald Trump is threatening to end the IRS? Well, the answer is yes if you're expecting a refund. And if you owe money, just be aware that if you file or pay late, you may be imposed penalties. However, you may also be able to get those waived with the first-time penalty abatement program. Okay, and because I do make money when people hire us to prepare their taxes for me, go to IRSMedic.com/prep if you're interested in having my firm, Parent and Parent IRSMedic, be your tax team. This is Anthony Parents of Parents and Parent IRSMedic. I want to thank you for watching, and really, there is no better time to subscribe than right now with all the news that's going on. By the way, what do you think? Is the IRS going to go away? Leave your comments below.